Oh, yeah, we have to end the beautiful music for now. Try and take it back a little bit later. Welcome to the Glorious Morning.
You are listening to Glorious Morning, the breakfast show with a difference. Right here on AWR SID Media. From broadcast to baptism.
I'm really excited to have you here, Ronel van der Walt from Verity Center. Good morning to you, Ronel. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Good morning, Millicent. Can you hear me well?
Loud and clear, you sound
Oh,
absolutely good. Yeah,
fantastic.
absolutely. Health is something that is very important. I think a lot of people actually, when I searched on the search engine, I found that between 66% and 80% of adults are interested in living more healthily. And we have seen how expensive medical aid is. And we did experience the scare of COVID, and so health issues are something that are quite prominent in our world, but there are way too many schools of thoughts about everything really, and health is definitely one of those. It depends on your philosophical background or your religious background, what your upbringing, and that determines what you regard as important and then what you choose to then disregard. So who do you listen to becomes quite difficult for many people to determine. And today we want to try and bring information that will cost the listener nothing in comparison to many other health philosophies. And following these will by far mitigate illness and health issues. But my understanding, Ronel, is it is a holistic approach. You can't just take one principle and run with that one and ignore all the others. If you really want the best results, you would have to really follow all the procedures as opposed to picking and choosing. Maybe let's start off with please sharing a little bit more about who Verity Center is and what you guys do in this health work.
Thank you so much for letting me have a chat to all of you. And Verity Center is in the heart of the Limpopo, the most beautiful place you can think of. And
Mm.
we actually work holistically with people. We don't take a lot of people at a time, uh, and our treatments are based on what your problems are. We feed you that way, we exercise you that way, and we treat you that way. So you can go home after 10 days brand new.
Mm, mm, mm. Are like these alternative health centers expensive? Because I think people do sometimes want to try them out, but they're not sure money costs and stuff.
Yeah, they can be very expensive. I know overseas you pay an arm and a leg.
Mm,
But in South Africa, I think we are really the most affordable one, to be honest,
mm,
because we also work with Clash of Minds, which is the platform for WhatsApp Prof, if you know Prof Walter Fyth and Martin Smith. So we do get a lot of donations, and we can provide this service at a better price. At a better
oh,
price.
that's
Yeah,
nice. That
yeah,
subsidization assists a lot.
yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, I'm glad that we started there. Um, I shared the statistics that come from Google AI, but do you think that, are people really moving towards a more healthy lifestyle, or do people actually have that desire, or is it just all talk but no action?
I think definitely it's a desire for most people. And it looks like that in the one way, you find people are smoking less. People are,
Mm,
there are so many promotions on exercise and better food and health and stuff like that.
mhm,
But there's another side where people tend to be more indoors, where they're supposed to be outdoors. And they were. In 2012, the big change came when everybody has got now the internet in their pockets, and people
mm,
tend to be more indoors since then, and we find that people are much more susceptible to diseases because they do not get sunshine, they don't get exercise, they don't get fresh air.
Oh.
um, and it's all besides the food and trusting God, but those things are so important.
Mm.
And if we can just look at that, I mean, obesity has gone up to I actually made a note here and I thought, wow, this is incredible. More than half the adults in the world are overweight. And we sit with 1 in 8 people being obese.
Mm.
That is insane. So if we can
Sure.
just get people moving, it's going to make a change.
Yeah, definitely, Ronelle. I don't know. I want to maybe use this obesity as an example of, the different philosophical issues that we have when we speak about health issues. So sometimes you'd see maybe, let's say, a podcast, right? Where you'd have, I saw one where I think it was the Dr. Dash show. I think you had the smaller bodied people and then the bigger bodied people, and they're having conversations about, bodies and weight and all that stuff. And then you've got people who'll say things like the BMI is Eurocentric. It cannot be applied across the board to everyone of every race in every region of the world. And it's quite problematic. And so people are rejecting, for example, the BMI system, the body mass index, to say, oh, this is your correct weight for your height and all, your body mass structure and stuff like that. Okay, that's the one. And then you've got another one where someone will then argue again and say, but obesity is not just because of food, it's genetic. People will give you those answers to say there's so many other more components, to a person's body weight. And I don't know, it becomes then difficult to have conversations that are healing and forthcoming and transformative, when we come from two opposing philosophical views. Can you weigh
Yeah.
in on it? It's
I,
just that.
I, if you look at a skeleton, what does a skeleton look like?
Bones.
they might they might have taller bones, but have they
Mm.
got thicker bones? That is, and yeah, maybe the BMI is a bit extreme, but there's a whole lot of other things. We shouldn't be on the scale every day. Just your basic body should tell you, are you in health or are you not? um, if you look at a skeleton, and that's my first reference, a skeleton is thin, it is just bones, it's what is put around that. And genetically, yes, I have had a conversation with a very obese person, and the husband was also obese, and the children also. And I said, okay, what does your dog look like? And the dog looked the same. So, I mean, that is exactly what it is what we eat, what we do with our bodies. You do find bigger people. I mean, I'm also a relative small person, um, but it all depends on what I do, because I was obese in my life until
Oh,
God
okay.
brought me to this. And if I look at it now, I mean, I've got no excuse. I had no excuse to be there, but I was, until God brought this truth to me, and I'm so thankful for it. So yeah, that's why we've got 8 doctors. Millicent, we've got 8 doctors, and God gave them to us, and we should visit them every single day, and then we won't have this problem.
I want to hear about the 8 doctors. Who are these
Ah,
8 doctors?
we have to look at this. Neil Nedley has got WEMA in university now, and even him is running this same acronym, and it's New Start. If you
Okay.
look at New Start, it gives you every single thing: nutrition, exercise, water, sunlight, temperance, air, rest, and trust. And if we look at that, God has actually put all of that in Genesis 1, 2, and 3.
Mm,
And that was amazing. When I read that, I thought, oh my word, Lord, this is amazing.
mm,
You gave us the food that we're supposed to eat, not the 3 million types of foods that we find on the shelves nowadays, pre-packed. That's not food. That is not food. God gave us specific food, and we call it whole food. And people say, oh, veganism, you can't have this or that. No, 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 no. That is a philosophy. We are not vegans. We are plant-based eaters.
Oh,
And
okay.
if we go that way, it's a total different ballgame. Then you eat whole food. You can drink 10 oranges, but you can't eat 10 oranges.
No, you can't.
You can't. It's impossible. So God didn't give us the fruit juice. And everybody thinks, oh, it's fruit juice. It's so amazing. No, it's too much sugar. There's no fiber. You can't have that. But eat the orange.
Yeah.
So then that's only the food side. I mean, I can keep talking to you for 2 days just about the food side. Then we get to exercise. If you don't move, you are going to get into trouble, because if you move and do a bit of weight, your bones tell your muscles, listen, I have to, or my muscles tell my bones, you better get up there and make yourself stronger. Otherwise, you won't be able to carry me.
Mm,
So we
mm.
have to exercise, we have to move and let the blood flow. That's why people get diabetes, because they don't move. And then the extremities get no blood. Your blood gets thick because you eat all this sugar and all this stuff, and it
Okay.
can't get to your finer veins, like your eyes and your toes. And that's why they've got to amputate soon, and then people go blind. That's just one little piece of it. But
Is gym
exercise is,
okay?
gym is good, but you can do it. You can get three things altogether if you do it out in the fresh air. Then you get sunshine, fresh air, and exercise. And
Okay.
you drink your water, and you've got 4 of the 8 already done.
Oh,
So it's
nice.
just very important that we look holistically about this. If you exercise and you don't drink water, you are in trouble, because water is not only there to bath, it is there to wash the inside of your body as well and get
Mm.
rid of the toxins. Because what is our food? We eat all this packaged stuff, and we don't get it out of our systems. It goes and sits in our fat. If we don't move, we can't get rid of that. And if I can just go back to BMI, a more important thing is visceral fat. I don't know if you know what visceral fat is. That's the fat that
No,
sits around your organs, and it's very hard to get rid of that.
like
Um,
the tummy fat, for example.
Yes, the big tummy fats that the men normally has, and even ladies nowadays. It's the visceral fat sitting all around your organs, and it actually smothers your organs, and they can't work as well as they're supposed to.
And that
That
looks
is
like
so,
stuff that's picked up like later on in life, because
yeah.
most children, well, I don't know about most, but a lot of children don't seem to necessarily have it when they are young. Then when people
No,
start working, the weight gain, and
yeah,
I mean, I've
yeah,
heard, as I hear often we say, oh, it's a pot belly, that's alcohol.
no,
If
no.
you stop drinking
It's
alcohol, that thing's gonna go. Or she had a baby, that's why she's got a tummy pouch. I don't
no,
know.
no, no,
No?
nonsense. I'm sorry, I don't want to say that word, but that is not true. That is not true. It is
Uh,
how we look after our bodies. If you look at the days when, um, earlier years, people ate when they had food, and they had to fast so that when they get food, then they can eat it, and it would never um, uh, change their body type. Fasting, we never do anymore. People just eat and eat and eat, and they never stop, because they eat food that is not food, and they don't get satisfied. If
okay.
you eat proper food, proper bread, and avocado and tomato and fruit and grain porridge, I mean, you can run for the rest of the day without food. You will have energy like you can't believe.
Mm.
And I'm a product of that. Let me tell you, I was so tired because I ate all the wrong stuff, but I never knew these. And today I'm 62 years old. I'm telling you, I've got more energy than ever before in my life.
And you look
So,
like a girlfriend, okay? Like,
then you get to sunlight. Sunlight helps the calcium carry to your bones. You don't have to drink milk for bone strength.
mm,
That's also just a myth. It's not true. But sunshine brings strength to your bones. Sunshine helps your digestion. Sunshine brings
mm,
you out of depression. There are so many beautiful things. I've just done for the other Afrikaans radio station a whole thing on sunshine, and I'm busy working through the new start. And yeah, I've got some radio stations in English that I'm going to start that with as well, because we
yeah.
have to look after our bodies. Sunshine is one of the most prevalent things that we have to do. It heals wounds. It gets rid of bacteria. In the olden days, in Ellen White's days, they put the um, patients in the sun,
Mm-hmm.
and their muscles would build because sunshine builds your body. Sunshine. And then we go to temperance. I mean, if we go to temperance and you still drink certain things, and I don't know if I should name those things, but I will.
Please
Um,
do.
Coffee, Coke, that type of stuff we should never take into our bodies. Alcohol, that God has forbidden that. We should not have that in our bodies. Um, we should not smoke. I mean, these things are the things that brings you down, takes you away from God. It becomes an idol. You cannot. And I've been there. I'm sorry. I can only talk about my own life. I couldn't start cooking at night if I don't have a glass of wine. I was there before I learned the truth that God brought. So we shouldn't have those things. We should really um, make sure that we have uh, proper, clean lives. And then, of course, rest is the other one. Sabbath rest is the one that we think that's the one. No, you've got to rest every day. You've got to go and sleep the same time every night,
Mm.
and go to bed as early as you can, because every hour before 12 o'clock is an hour extra rest. Not sleep,
Oh,
rest. So that's why if you go to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock, you can get up at 4 o'clock because you have rested so well. And Ellen White wrote all her books in those hours of the morning
mm.
because she went to bed 8 o'clock at night. So, and then trust in God, of course, is the other one that we cannot go without. Most important, whatever we do, if we don't do it with God, we will just not survive.
And
So
then there's the
yeah.
air as well. The air,
Oh,
because we live
fresh
in
air. Did I
cities.
miss it? Yeah, fresh air, of
Yeah.
course. And that's why we need to be outside. We need to have sun. We need to have fresh air. People don't even know how to breathe anymore.
Mm.
You sit and you just check yourself. How do you breathe? When you inhale, is your stomach going in or out? Most people's stomachs are going in. How on earth? Because they only breathe into the chest. They don't breathe right into the stomach.
How are you supposed to breathe? Now I'm like, when you breathe, your stomach must go out.
Yes. Breathe in, stomach out. When you exhale, stomach goes in. I mean, that's how a baby breathes. And we
How
we we miss
how
that.
do you practice that? Is that something that you can practice, or
Yes.
does that happen automatically once you make changes to your lifestyle?
No, you've got to practice that. You've got to notice, how am I breathing, and focus on it and breathe proper. Stand up straight and inhale your fresh air right to your stomach is nice and full. Keep it in there for a couple of seconds and then breathe out slowly through your nose. You inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose. And that's how your body gets as much air in everywhere. Cancer lives in an acidic body. Cancer hates fresh air. Cancer
Mm,
hates, yeah, cancer doesn't like blood flowing. And that's why these things, if we don't look after and visit these doctors every day, that's what we're going to sit eventually with.
mm, 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 mm. It's scary, but also, people will be like, the problem with healthy food, for example. I mean, none of these things are necessarily easy. Healthy food, when your palate is not used to that texture, and
Yeah,
it's not nice because
yeah,
the other food just slides
yeah,
down, and then
yeah.
this one is like, I'm chewing and I'm chewing and I'm chewing and I'm like what?
Ah,
And
that
and
is
then the
it.
person will like, I have to let down with something because it doesn't
Yeah.
want to go down my
You
esophagus.
see, this is because you're not used to chewing. You don't have saliva because you don't drink enough water. You
Mm.
have to use that saliva to break down that food. Remember, breaking down your food starts in your mouth. It doesn't start in your stomach. It starts right up here in your mouth, your tongue, and it goes straight into your bloodstream. But if you just have the food that you like and swallow that down with probably a Coke or something, you are totally have got a messed up um,
Pellets.
palate. We have to go back. And you know what? Don't do it all at once. Go little by little. Start with your breakfast and just, do two or three things and then carry on for a week until you get used to that and then implement something more. It takes time. I understand when people do not like this for at the beginning, but for your own health, this is so worth it. And I'm the product of it. I can just keep on saying that.
I like the fact that you speaking from personal experience. Okay, let's leave the show with at least some consideration of the masses and be like, most people will not be able to apply a complete change. You said yourself that it
Yeah,
takes
yeah,
time.
it takes time.
So let's say in a month's time, what can a person try, like after today's show? What are the things that they can start doing to make the changes, the ones that are possible to actually make within a short
Yeah.
space of time? Yeah,
Okay. The first thing I would say is pray to God. Ask Him to help you
the
because
strength.
only He can help you to give you the willpower to change your lifestyle. And then start slowly. Drink more water. Chuck out the beverages and the sweet stuff. Drink more water. If you don't like water, put some lemon, a piece of lemon in there. But start with more water. You've got to drink at least 8 glasses of pure water every day and not with your food, in between your foods. That's the first thing I would say, besides pray. And then eat more raw food. If you can up the salad, and when you go for a second helping, instead of going for the protein or the starch, go for a salad. Just start doing that more often. The more you eat it, the more you will love it. I couldn't stand fruit. Let me tell you, fruit was always sour to me. I didn't like it until I learned how to eat fruit and wait until it's proper ripe and eat it. I cannot tell you, I love fruit, and not fruit juice. I eat my fruit. And luckily, we stay where lots of that grows, and I grow my own. So that those are very important things. Go to bed at the same night time every night, and go early to bed. If you can't sleep, contact me. I'll tell you how to get to sleep.
Ah, okay.
um, yeah, and then fresh air. Go out first thing in the morning. Go barefoot, feet on the grass. If you can, if you have got grass that you can go onto, just to clear yourself from all the electronic stuff that you are with and using every day. Just go barefoot, feet on the grass. Breathe in fresh air and exhale a couple of times until you feel dizzy and then stop.
Oh,
Oh, just do that so that you can really just get fresh air in your body and then move, go and walk around the block or um, do some stretches. Just do something that you start moving. You've got to do both type of exercises, anaerobic, so that your body can move your blood. So that's definitely some of those. Get into the sunlight. What else was there? Um, Sleep well. Keep learning. Keep learning. Don't stop learning and just think you've got it all now. Keep learning. You keep your brain strong. Um, give your life to God. Stay lean. Stay strong. Stay moving. So I hope that helps.
It does. I think it absolutely does. I appreciate it. Start by drinking more water, eat more raw food, go to bed early at the same time every night, and go to the grass without shoes on. Breathe in fresh air until you feel dizzy, you said. Walk around. Walk around the block and get sunlight and always keep learning. I think this is really good.
And
I
pray.
appreciate this. And pray. You said that we need
Pray.
to
Pray. Pray.
start
God
developing a
will,
relationship with
yeah,
God.
He will. He will change everything. He did in
Yeah.
our lives, and I'm so thankful.
I'm so happy for you. I'd like us to talk about how to sleep better at another point. I think that's a
Yes.
very important one,
Yeah.
because we've
Yeah.
got so much on our plates. And,
Yeah.
you said keep learning. And the first thing that came to mind is every time I register for a course, there goes my sleep, you know? So I
Uh-uh.
think it is important. So it is something that is important for us to definitely deliberate on how do we manage our time and still
Yeah.
manage to keep to all these beautiful health principles free of charge. Doesn't
Free of
cost a
charge.
penny.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have medical aid, you will be okay. um
Absolutely.
if you start living like this and being consistent about it. Ronelle, this was excellent. How can people get a hold of Verity Center?
They can contact me via my email address is bookings@veritycenter.com.
Bookings at veritycenter.com. Thank you so
Yes.
much. I appreciate this. And to everyone who also joined us, I see you are learning a lot, like me, from Ronelle. Sophie Kazani, thank you so much for joining us, Ronelle. We will speak to you at hopefully soon, and all the best with the programs that you're going to be starting out on all those other platforms. You're also going to be quite busy, and yeah, you can as well just add us to your list of busyness. We appreciate that.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Have a
Thank you for
beautiful
having me and have a lovely day.
one. Amen.
Adventist World Radio, SID Media.